Hello, welcome to Creative. I am Jamie, and this is my first video I'm going to try. I'm a photographer, not a videographer, and so I'm going to work out some kinks. I'm doing this first one pre-recorded and then just uploading it. I'm not doing it live because, let's face it, I'm going to screw up and have to stop and start a million times. So anyways, this is just going to be my little forum to share with you all my crafty, creative visions, projects, etc. I'm not trying to sell you anything. Nothing like that. So if you're a crafter, a treasure junkie, someone who would like to be a crafter but finds it intimidating, or somebody who's just nosy and likes to watch people make things, this will be for you. Today I'm going to start off just to kind of give you a sampling of things that I might do videos of on a craft that I would consider, for me, a quick craft. Some of you non-crafters may not think this would be a quick craft, but really it is. And I wanted to show you, I'm going to start and stop this video, and hopefully I'm going to edit it together so that you don't have to see all the mundane in-between moments. But I'm going to start the video showing you with my inspiration object, which is this. These are super popular. You can find them everywhere. They're basically like farm fresh, homemade tool caddies. They're just these cool things. And they're popular right now, so a lot of places, especially antique stores and stuff, have the price jacked up really high on them because they know crafters and people who like shabby chic home decor are hot for these right now. So keep your eyes open. Every now and again you can find a really great deal. I bought this one at the Habitat for Humanity in Midland and it was $5. I didn't need it, wasn't sure what I was going to do with it, but for $5 you don't leave this at the store. So this is my object. It's pretty dirty, mildewy, gross. I do go through wooden things if they're going to stay in my house with something like this. Any kind of, household kitchen cleaner. I squirt it down, I wipe it down, and I get as much of the mildew and the who knows what off of it as I can before I start. If this were going to go on my patio or on a little side table outside my front door, I'll be honest, probably wouldn't clean it because it's just going to sit outside anyhow. But I am making this today as an indoor decoration. So I told you the first step, clean it off. After you've cleaned it off, before you start attacking your project, you need to decide what it's going to be. So, the average Joe would look at this and say, it's a toolkit, it's a toolbox, and you could use it to just simply organize your crafting supplies. Stick a little this in there, stick your little string and scissors in one of the cubbies in the front. It could sit out, great. That would be the regular use for it. When I find an object, especially one that I just find and it's a good deal or it's unique or I just think I need it but I don't know what I'm going to do with it, I try to think outside of the box before I do anything permanent or make any changes to the object. So, thinking inside the box would be what I just showed you. It's going to be an organizing caddy of some nature. Now we're going to think outside the box. And this is how you do it. It's not hard. You don't have to be relatively creative to do it. This is how you think outside of the box. Simple rule. I do this all the time. Take the object you've purchased, flip it over. There. That was not hard to do. Now you think to yourself, why did she flip it over? Well, maybe I could put brackets on the back of it and this could hang on a wall. Now I've turned this into a little tchotchke shelf, a little shadow box, etc. Flip it this way. Clearly, this way makes no sense, but I'm just showing you my thought process. This is literally what I do. I flip it around, look at it at all angles, and then I decide. So the only way I haven't done it is this way. Again, you could stand a tall vase of flowers here. These could be your little tchotchke boxes. You are going to have a little obstruction with your handle, but you know, that's what makes it cool. Put brackets on the back, hang it on the wall. Now, if I wasn't an addicted crafter and I had more wall space in my house that I haven't already plastered with crafts and treasures, I would have done this. This probably would have been how I attacked this project. I would have put those simple little sawtooth hangers on the back. Now, this toolbox caddy thing is heavier than most. It's pretty sturdy, so you'd have to make sure you were hitting a stud or put one of those cleats in the wall so it hangs tight down because it by itself is heavy. But if I had room in my bathroom, which is kind of a shabby chic bathroom, if I had the wall space, this would hang on the wall like this. This bar would become a hand towel rack where I would hang a cute hand towel. Maybe I'd hang a little thing of dried flowers upside down from one side, you know. I could put little hooks in here to hang other tchotchkes, jewelry, whatever. If I'm hanging it this way and the towel's hanging down, it is going to cover up most of this little shadow box part. So maybe I just put rolled up hand towels or washcloths in the background here. Up here, maybe I put a soap. I put a little decoration that goes, I don't know if this is going to show up real well, but you could put a little tchotchke bird in one corner. Get creative. Stuff things in there. So, that's what I would have done. However, I don't have room in my bathroom. So, I'm going to use it the boring way. This way. It has no place in my house. I'm going to make it. I have no clue what I'm going to do with it. Maybe I will put it for sale and somebody can snag it if they want it. I don't know. But I'm going to show you quick and easy. This is how I do it. Now I've decided how I'm using it. I'm going to use it the boring way. I often like gross finishes with chipped paint and Mars and yuck and gunk. However, this has more than its fair share of that. So, the way I'm going to attack this project is, I'm just going to give it a light sanding all over. I'm not going to remove all the paint, I'm not going to remove all the stains because I do want some of that to show. So, I'm going to give it a light sanding, and then I'm not going to make you watch me sand it. I'm going to sand it, then I'm going to whitewash it, and then from there I'm going to decorate it. So I'm going to stop the video here, I'm going to do my sanding, and I will come back and show you how I attack the whitewash process. Okay, poof, I'm back like magic. Now, I have sanded my tool caddy down, fine grit sandpaper, and then after I sanded it, I squirted it with my all-purpose cleaner just to get the dust and stuff off. And I didn't do crazy amount of sanding because I really want to leave the old paint drips and stuff kind of how they are. And I only sanded the parts that are going to show. So if you are going to use this like this, you're going to have to sand the insides and back of all these little cubby holes so that it doesn't look gross. But I'm filling the holes, so I didn't do that. I sanded the top surfaces, handle, edges, ends and sides. That being said, I'm now ready to give it just a little skosh of a facelift, not a lot. So, I'm going to put this aside. You will learn as you watch me craft. So for those of you who don't know me, if you do know me, you know that I just fly by the seat of my pants. I want to keep this in the kind of off-white zone. Okay, to be continued. So I showed you that I sanded it, wiped it down. I mixed my paints for my whitewashing, and I buy, for something like this, the cheapest white acrylic paint I can find. I used a little white and then a little bit of kind of a creamy colored paint. And I put it in my palette. Sometimes I mix it up thoroughly so it makes a brand new color. Other times I kind of mix it so you can still see the sand, still see the white. And that's what I'm going to do in this case. So for dry brushing, you dunk your brush, which I like to use a cheap craft brush with long bristles. Some of you may like to use the foam brush. The foam brush will not give you as nice of a streaky dry brush effect, but that's up to you. These are nice because you can throw them away. Throw these away too, but I usually wash these out. So, I digress. Load up your brush a little, and then it's a dry brush, so you have to take most of what you just loaded onto your brush off. I dab mine on a paper towel, and then you go to it. And I just light quick strokes up and down. You can do as many strokes, as heavy, cover as much or as little as you want. It's really kind of to your liking and style. So there I have dry brush at the end. You can still see the old color through it. You can see the brighter new color through it. And occasionally after I do that, before the paint's dry, you have to work with it when it's wet. Sometimes if I want it to kind of look a little softer, I just wipe over it with a paper towel. But you have to do it right away, because if you start doing that when it's dry, your paper towel's going to stick and you got a hot mess, and then you got to resand. So I'm going to do what I just did on the end. Oops, I better sit down. My last part of my video, you didn't see my whole head. I'm going to finish what I just did here on the end. I won't make you watch that, and then I'll come back when I have it all dry brushed. Okay, I'm back. I did all my whitewash painting. Again, I didn't do the inside of the holes because I'm not going to hang it like a shelf. I'm going to use it like a tool cabinet. Hopefully you can see a little bit the whitewash. I still wanted some of the old color to show through, but I did it kind of streaky. It should, if you look at the edge and then look at the inside, you should be able to tell that the overall appearance of the parts I painted are a little more white. So that step is done. Let me also tell you that I do not, when I'm mixing paint, I don't really measure or anything. I just kind of squirt and mix and squirt and mix. So I can't tell you how much white and how much tan I used. I used more white than tan, I'll tell you that. So mix it until it looks good. Worst case scenario, you start to dry brush it. It's too dark, it's too light. If it's too light, just make your paint darker and go over it. If it's too dark, let it dry, sand it off, go for it again. There are no mistakes in the crafting world. Only happy accidents. So, got my box ready. Now, I've decided I'm going to fill my box with some fake florals, some candles, kind of a shabby, chic, organic kind of a look. Now, I had a good idea while I was painting this. This would be a great trinket to find. You could sand it, whitewash it, get it all kind of pretty. And then you could give this as a gift. If you know someone who has a green thumb, who likes indoor houseplants, who likes herbs in their kitchen, this would be so cool to give as a little start your own herb kit. Now, if you do that, you're going to have to hunt around the dollar store or places like that and find some plastic containers that would sit in these holes that you could put soil in. Because if you put soil right in this and they water it, it's not going to seep through right away, but it's eventually going to rot this box. So if you were going to give it as a little growing kit of some nature, make sure to line the cubby holes with plastic containers. Then you pick out the packets of seeds, put the packets of seeds in there real cute, put a little tiny trowel, maybe a little mister can, wrap that out, put a bow on it. What an awesome gift for a grandma, a Mother's Day, a teacher gift, and you haven't spent an arm and a leg. Okay, I'll just give you my little light bulb moments as they come. They flash on and off all the time. Back to what I'm doing. I'm going to fill it with fake florals, candles, blah, blah. So, to get the fake florals to stick in here, we clearly have to have something for them to stick into. That's where your dry floral foam comes in handy. You can buy like 3 bricks of this for under $2. You can get it at Walmart, Joann Fabric, Dollar Store oftentimes has it. But you want the stuff that says dry foam. You don't want styrofoam. That's really hard to poke fake floral stems into. And to cut it to the size of the cubby holes, a little serrated kitchen knife, probably a butter knife, quite frankly, would cut it, but I always use a little serrated knife. I measure nothing. I hold the brick, I start to chop. that's how I figure it out. So I've pre-cut my little pieces of foam that are going to go. So I've got 2 that are going to go in my big spot, and then I had a little skinny leftover nubbin, and I'm just going to shove him in the back. And then I have another piece of foam, which I'm not going to put flowers in. I'm going to do something else with. So I don't want this foam. The foam I put in is almost level with the edge of the box, which is fine because you're not going to see it because I'm going to have florals in there. I am, however, in one of the front little cubbies, I'm going to put a decoration, and I don't want it to sit, I don't want my foam to sit like this and then my decoration just sit up here. So I cut my foam in half depth-wise, and you can see right here, it sinks down in a little further. Still gives me a base, but it's not going to be up as high. So, let me do that. Now, first I'm going to put my florals in. This is going to be, when you're looking at my box, when I set it out for decoration, this is going to be the back side of my box. So on the back side of my box, my florals are going to be kind of as high as my fingers are, kind of like this, because it's going to be the background. Things in front obviously need to be a little shorter. So I've chosen fake heather, or lavender I mean. This is fake lavender, and it comes like with sprigs. You can see all the stems, but if you poke it in with the whole stem, first of all, it's going to be too tall. Second of all, you can't spread it out and make it airy enough. So just get your needle nose pliers that have the little sharp cutting edge, and I go through all my little bunches and I cut each little stem off. So I have lots and lots and lots and lots of stems. So the back is going to be lavender, and then in another hole in the front, I wanted some other type of greenery, and I chose, kind of looks like lamb's ear. It's kind of a little soft sage green, just a leaf. And I did the same thing. I cut off all my little pokes. Oops, see, saved one to show you. Don't worry about the length, just chop it off for now, and you can figure out the length later. So, I'm going to try to arrange it so it looks right to you. So I'm going to arrange it backwards to me. Let's see how that goes. Before I start poking my florals into my foam, just in case little hints of my green dry foam show, I don't want that. So I bought sheet moss. They call it sheet moss because when you take it out of the bag, it looks like it comes in a little sheet. It's the crumbliest, messiest stuff you'll ever see, but it hides a multitude of sins. So I don't cut it, I just rip it apart, and watch when you rip it. See, it's like snow. So you're gonna have some cleanup. I just rip it to the size of the thing I want. You can just stuff it in, which is what I'm going to do today because I'm not sure that I'm going to permanently keep this decorated the way I'm doing today. So you see, you stuff it in. Plus, when you lay it on top of the foam and then poke through it, your little floral stems are going to help hold it down. So there we go. That's just packed in tight over my foam. Now if this was going to be permanent and I knew I was going to leave it as is, I may, because I love my hot glue gun, I may take my hot glue gun, give me some swirls of hot glue on that foam, and then quick push your moss down. Because the hot glue is like molten lava and it will eat through your foam. So you can do it, but you got to do it fast. You can't squeeze a bunch over the whole brick of foam and then go back and do your moss because your hot glue will have eaten through the foam and sank to the bottom and it will do you nothing. So little bits at a time if you want to use hot glue. I suppose you could use like a fabric glue, maybe Elmer's glue, I don't know. In a pinch I use Mod Podge as glue, you know, whatever. So now I've got my moss in on top of my foam to hide anything I don't want it to see. Now, while you're looking at it the correct way. This is going to be the back. So this is literally how I do this. Hard. See? You just poke it in. You poked it in. And I usually work in thirds. I like to do 3. I don't want it to be totally symmetrical. And you can fuss with it when you're done, but I usually work in thirds. I do a row of 3, and then maybe, because you want some depth, you're going to move your next poke back. And I'm going to connect my next poke back between these 2. So you can start to see how we're building this little bit of an airy, leafy happiness, we'll call it. I am going to have a little decoration that's going to sit here, and I do believe I'm going to do a little greenery in this corner. This is the other one I bought. I think it's supposed to look a little bit like lamb's ear, and just because I want some different texture, I'm going to do lamb's ear in this front corner. Quickly, just poking it in. I've got all my little stems pre-cut off the bunch so that I can make them angle this way, that way, the other way, however I want it to go. Short ones, oops, that one's missing one, we don't want that one. If they're too long, make them shorter. Like I'm going to use this one here. But this one is too long for my front, so we just give it a little haircut, just like that. Boop. That, again, I'm going in on an angle so it looks like it's growing over the front. Now I'm looking at this, and to my eye, this is too much. Too straight. Even. Can't have it. So I'm going to give it a trim, poke it back in. It'll be a little lower. See, now we feel better about that. There we go. We've got our lavender, a little lamb's ear. Our box is coming to life. Now, I will show you what I have in mind for this little spot here. I love birds. Birds are a great accent in any shape, size, or color. Ceramic, the cheapy stuffed, I don't know, styrofoam ones you buy at the dollar store. So I feel like my cute little organic box needs a bird. Now, I bought 2 birds because, of course, I don't measure anything and I'm just out and about. Both from the dollar store. In my head, this was going to be the bird. Why? Because he's bigger. Bigger's usually better. Sitting here, he looks okay, not bad. If this is all I had, he would go there. But then you think, is a bird just going to sit on the moss? He goes sit in his nest. Dollar store. I think it was 25 cents. You can buy them individually. It's a little bird's nest. And look at me, little baby sit right in there. Well, every now and again I break into accent too. Now, I don't want him to tipple-topple out of my nest, so he's going to get a little hot glue on his bottom. And once I poke him in the nest, can you see the steam? Like, I use serious hot glue, people. Poke him in my nest, just hold him a second. It's just going to give him a little less typically tootle. And I might, again, if I was keeping this, ooh, you probably can't see me when I stand up. If I'm keeping this for myself, I would probably take some floral wire and make like a hairpin and choop, to tack this down so this nest stays. No, he's looking this way, I believe. So, I've got my little bird in his nest. There he is. Here's my next thing. I'm going to slide my caddy out of the way just a moment. This is how I craft. This is cheap. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you I got something I didn't get it. Someplace I didn't get it. So far we are under $20 for a very nice kitchen display. Put it on your dining room table, where have you. The last thing I like to add when I don't know what else to do with something and I don't have a specific place it's going is I love candles. And I love the flameless candles that have a timer. Those you're going to pay a little more money for. And I was in a hurry to get my supplies. So these came from the dollar store. They are the natural wick battery run, but they do not have a timer. So you're going to have to remember to click them off at night. If you were going to set this, if you have a good sized bathroom, and you were going to set this on like a little side vanity table, maybe you put candles here and a nice bottle of bathroom spray or something in the center. You know, you got to be creative. I don't know what I'm doing with this, so I bought candles. And let me show you from the front the height, so you can see the height in comparison. So now we know this candle will show if I put nothing in the bottom of the hole. This one's going to look stupid and this one's going to be hidden. So we need to we want this height, but we're going to have to add last little nubbin of our foam. Just jam in whatever extras you have. Stick them in there. And this is what I'm not sure. I don't know how. You want to use odd numbers, obviously. Oh, I'm going to need to hide my foam, because when you peek in there, you can see. So, odd numbers are good. I like things that are not symmetrical. Some of you like symmetrical. If you'd like symmetrical, put the green stuff on either side and put your bird in the middle. I mean, if that trips your trigger, but that's just not how I roll. I really like things a little more organic. I keep saying organic, I don't know why. Organic, a little free-flowing, a little mishmash. I don't know what the words you want to use is. I probably did this in 20 minutes. If you were home, you could do it faster. But now you have this, I'm going to tip it just ever so slightly because I don't want candles to fall. But this is what you have. How lovely. You could give it as a gift. I wouldn't wrap it. I'd put a bow that coordinates, big poofy bow, let the tails come off to the side. Lovely gifts. You have somebody that likes tea. You put some lavender in here, you leave your candles, you put a cute teacup in one side, and you put some fancy tea bags and a little organza sack on this side. Like I said before, make it a herb growers kit, personalize it. If you want, put a monogram or a name on the front. You can get crazy. If you have one of those fabulous Crickets that does the vinyl, right here, I know somebody that knows how to do that, and I am on this page going to feature different artists that have a knack or a skill or a craft or something they do. So my friend Nelia doesn't know this, but she's going to be on here, and she's going to do some vinyl work and show everybody because it's pretty cool.